Hello, how are you all doing? Good to see you all. Messages already in the chat, ready before the game starts. Real Betis against Osasuna. Very, very big game here in La Liga. Both of these teams still competing for European football. Betis in a European final already. That Conference League final still to come against Chelsea later this month on the 28th of May. Anthony, sparkling form since coming in from Manchester United on loan. And Betis still very much in with a chance of maybe making the Champions League places via their league place in La Liga. It's going to take some doing, but they are certainly in with a chance. The results have gone their way. They are 4 points behind Villarreal with a game in hand and 3 games to go. Now, if they were to win tonight, they still have some decent fixtures to come. They've got to play Vallecano. They do have to go to Atletico Madrid, the Wanda Metropolitano, but they've got to play Vallecano away, and they've got Valencia back here at the Villamarín. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how Betis approach tonight's game after the high of going through to the Conference League final against Fiorentina. But still a long, long way to go. As I say, it's 17 days. 17 days, nearly best part of 3 weeks, till they play in that Conference League final. So there will be no slacking off from Betis. Absolutely not. Not with a Champions League place still potentially to play for. And if they can secure that via the league placing, then maybe they'll be going into that Conference League final against Chelsea with, real almost nothing to lose. They can go into it and it potentially be a huge day, and they're not playing for their European future. For Osasuna, it's kind of much the same. They are currently 3 points behind Rayo Vallecano in the Europa Conference League spot. Again, they've got a game in hand on Vallecano as well, and they're 5 points behind Celta Vigo. Also, again, with a game in hand. So if Osasuna were to win tonight, it brings them back into that picture again. Maybe a Europa League place for them. Certainly a Conference League place they would have a very, very strong shout for. And Osasuna's fixtures are, again, also not that bad towards the end of the season. They play Atletico Madrid. They also play Espanyol, and they've got to go away to Alaves, both of whom, to be honest, are not particularly... Espanyol haven't really got anything to play for, and Alaves, they're right down there, aren't they? They are right down there. Jaden, what is it on? It's on La Liga TV. I think you can also get it on Premier Sports, but I'm watching it on La Liga TV. Yeah, so you can get it on there. So yeah, we'll cover all that in a moment, but first off, I do just want to say a massive thank you, first and foremost, to our sponsors here at Premier League Dad, Match Bingo. Match Bingo are a fantastic new app that create and combine all of the fun and excitement that you would associate with having a bet on the football, regular football and sports betting, all of that fun combined with all of the fun and excitement that you would associate with a game of bingo. You buy your bingo card and you will be given 15 random events that could take place during a game, and it might say things like, for example, corner to Liverpool or free kick to Arsenal, as we saw in the Premier League earlier today. And as those things happen in the game, you will see them marked off on your bingo card. And if you get a line or a full house, you get prizes, you get money for that. And it's really, really good. £200,000, over £200,000 actually, has been paid out already to over 10,000 players across the UK. It's a fantastic app. You can go and download it right now. You can download it via the link in my description, or you can scan the QR code, which will be on screen throughout this game. It's a fabulous app. Really, really good guys at Match Bingo as well. Go and check them out. If you go and download the app now and you deposit £5, you'll get £10 for free. So go and check it out. Again, can't hurt. Can't hurt. And can't say fairer than that. Go and have a look. And they're supporting the channel and the wonderful community that we're building here. So they'll be live and sponsoring us for every 24-25 live stream that we do between now and the end of the season. So, with that said, let's get focused on the game. Let me just go live 1 second. The lineups are in. Let me just turn that volume down, because I've got plenty of breeze coming on me there, and I don't want it. So, the lineups for tonight is as follows. It's Adrian in goal. Adrian, Ex-Liverpool, Adrian, and then it's Ruibal at right back, Bartra and Natan at centre-back, Perro on the left, Altamira and Carvalho sitting, no Johnny Cardoso, who drops to the bench, Rodriguez, Lo Celso, Ezalzuli, and then Cucho Hernandez up front, Anthony, benched, Fornals, benched, Isco, benched, Johnny Cardoso, benched, Ricardo Rodriguez, benched. It's a much changed side for Betis. I'm actually really, really surprised. I am really, really surprised. Huge changes to the Betis side. For Osasuna, it is in goal Sergio Herrera, Cruz, Boyomo, Catania and Arezzo at right back. It's Oroz, Toro and Ibanez in midfield with Zaragoza just behind Budimir and Ruben Garcia. It's going to be a really, really good game, this one. A really, really good game. Really looking forward to it. I think Betis, especially with the changes that they've made, it's a bold approach, I've got to say, by Manuel Pellegrini. I thought that we would see certainly Johnny Cardoso and Isco in the team. I'm not surprised maybe that he's rested Anthony after the excerpts of midweek and the big game against Fiorentina. He put a lot into that game and played really, really well. So I'm not surprised that he's rested Anthony. But I would have thought Isco would have stayed. I would have thought Johnny Cardoso would have stayed. So, and no Bakambu, no Fornals either in there. So, it's going to be an interesting game, this one. Really, really interesting game. James, who's your Spanish team, Key? My Spanish team? Probably Betis. Yeah, I would say Betis is my Spanish team. I'm just watching back the Real Madrid-Barcelona game from earlier today. What a game that was, by the way. Saw the Rafinha goal just here. Great goal. Yeah, wonderful finish. And that's probably secured the title for Barcelona, hasn't it? Probably secured the title. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it was a wonderful game. Really, really good game, that. Great game, great goals. 4-3. Just looking at Mbappe's hat-trick here as well. Mbappe hat-trick goal. Good play by Vinny. Trent deserves these, doesn't he? Trent deserves these. Stuttgart have also just scored against... Who is it who Stuttgart just scored against? Augsburg. Stuttgart are 2-0 up against Augsburg in the Bundesliga. We'll be keeping an eye on all the other results that are going in tonight. Obviously, all the others we've covered. Frankfurt and St. Pauli got in a draw. Inter beating Torino. And Bilbao getting a big result against Alaves as well. That was a big surprise. Napoli need to win against Genoa. Napoli and Inter currently top of top of Serie A, separated only by goal difference going into the last two games. If Napoli get a win tonight, then it really does put the pressure back on Inter Milan. Let me just catch up with the chat 1 second. Okay. Napoli, best team ever. Ed Rosenthal, Betis rotations. Yeah, there's been a lot of rotation in that Betis team, hasn't there? Big surprises, got to say. James Moss always had a soft spot for Valencia after going on a 6-hour tour of a rug shop organised by Thomas Cook. A 6-hour tour of a... You never went on a 6-hour tour of a rug shop in Valencia. No chance. I don't believe that for a second. Reese, was it a good game last live stream? Can't remember too much of it, mate, to be honest. Can't remember too much of it. Jaden, I'm watching Napoli instead. Yeah, to be honest, Napoli was going to be the one that I was going to focus on tonight, but I really think this one, with the two teams that are really fighting for European places, it's going to be a good watch, this one. It's going to be a really, really good watch, especially with Betis making such a lot of changes. No Anthony coming in there. But Lo Celso's had not a bad season at all for Betis. 13 starts, he's had 8 goals, 2 assists, 7 big chances created. He's looked back to himself since going back to Spain. Callum, Atletico play Osasuna midweek, yeah. Betis have to play Atletico as well. I think that's next weekend though, isn't it? So both of these have to play Atletico. Slabhead, Premier League is so dead now. Well, it is for United, isn't it? It is for United, Slabhead. Come on, be honest. Lee Oxley, hope you're keeping well, mate. I am, mate. Really, really good. Hope you're doing well too, buddy. Reese, nah, me neither. Just remember the Robbo, choke slam, and Kanate slapping them. Choke slam! Listen to you. Choke slam. Lee Oxley, you watching the playoffs tomorrow? Yes. Yes. I can't remember what games we've actually got going on tomorrow. Let me have a look. I've done that. I've queued up basically the next 2 weeks of football on our channel. The next 2 weeks of football are, well, I'm not going to tell you the full 2 weeks. I won't bore you to death with that. But we have got coming up tomorrow. We've got Venezia against Fiorentina. That is we'll be starting the stream at about 5 o'clock. Venezia against Fiorentina, big game in Serie A. Potentially Fiorentina could sneak back into Europe after the disappointment of going out against Betis in midweek in the Conference League semi-final. Fiorentina could maybe find their way back into Europe next season, but they have to get past Venezia. And then after that game's finished, we'll be going to Sheffield United. Bramall Lane, Sheffield United against Bristol City. Sheffield United already 3-0 up in that one. And I'll be honest, I don't think that there's going to be... I don't hold out much hope for Bristol City in that one, but we'll watch it, of course. We'll watch it and we'll see how we get on. On Tuesday night, we'll do the other playoff place, Sunderland against Coventry City. And then on Wednesday, it's back to La Liga. So it's Villarreal against Leganés at 5 p.m. and Stockport against Leyton Orient. Stockport County and Leyton Orient. If any of you watched that game with me on Saturday, you'll know it was a magical game. Absolutely fantastic game. Some huge decisions from the referees, and it finished 2-2. And now, we've got a huge game there at Edgeley Park, due to kick off on, what day is it? Wednesday night. Wednesday night, Stockport County against Leyton Orient. So, yeah, they're the games that are queued up for the next few days. Blurry, is Chelsea now going to play for Europa League? Looks like it. Yeah, I mean, look, they've still got a chance, Chelsea. Chelsea, Forest, Newcastle, Villa, it's all still very much on. I really do think that we'll see Newcastle get beat. I already said this in the last stream, so it's going to be broken records for other people who've already heard this from the last stream, but I really do believe that we'll see Newcastle get beat at the Emirates next week against Arsenal. I think Arsenal win that. And then I strongly suspect Chelsea will beat Man United. And I think Villa will beat Spurs. And if that does happen, then those three teams all go into the final game of the season on 66 points. And what a final game, a final day that will be, because then it might just mean one or two of the teams are excluded based on goal difference. It will go right down to the wire. I really, really, truly believe that. Reece, did you see what happened to the Sevilla team? They had to stay overnight in the training ground. No, why? What happened? What happened to Sevilla? Let's have a look. Let me see if I can see. I'll get the news up on that one. I haven't heard anything about Sevilla. Sevilla plays sleep at training ground following extreme violence from fans. Goodness me, seriously. Sevilla's first team were forced to spend the night at their training facility on Saturday evening after they were met with violent attacks by supporters. A statement released by the club strongly condemned organised vandalism at the Jose Ramon Cisneros Palacios training complex after Sevilla's 3-2 loss at 10-man Celta Vigo. Footage on social media appears to show a large group of supporters chanting outside the facility with pyrotechnics, while another shows them tearing down the gate to the entrance of the training ground. Players and staff of the La Liga side were forced to stay inside the building following their arrival back from Vigo. Sevilla added that the club will pursue the public naming of employees and the dissemination of private data on social media, acts that constitute criminal offences. Well, Sevilla are 16th in La Liga. They're 6 points above the relegation zone with 3 games left to play. They're not going down. They are not going down. I don't believe for 1 second they're going down. So it is probably just a storm in a teapot there. But again, Trent Alexander-Arnold going to Spain, this is what you have to deal with. The fans are a lot more vitriolic, a lot more violent, a lot more, I would say a lot less tolerant than maybe they are over here. Yeah, it's a way of life in Spain, just as it is in the UK. But yeah, a lot more militant in Spain, evidently, that the team are having to stay in the training ground to avoid what the club has called violent attacks. That's mad. Yeah, mad. James, who was con, thought it was a free jolly to an island, ended up spending on food and drink rather than the all-inclusive. Edward, how you doing? Callum, Osasuna 0, Atletico 2, Madrid, Oppa Atleti. Callum, I did say about Sevilla, they're in danger of relegation. They're not. 6 points, mate. 6 points with 3 games left. They're not going down. They're not going down. No chance. LZ, Spurs will beat Villa. In the reverse game, Spurs beat Villa 4-1. Yeah, well, listen, things change, don't they? Things change. I think Villa... I mean, look, if Villa don't beat Spurs at Villa Park, when Spurs have nothing to play for, and it's 5 days before a European final, if Villa don't win that, they don't deserve Champions League football. That is madness. That is absolute madness. Blairy, what do you think about the owner of Nottingham Forest yelling at Nuno because Nottingham drew? Yeah, madness. I'm kind of at a loss as to what to say about that, because for me, if your owner came on, I think you'd just be so taken aback, wouldn't you? You'd be so like, why are you having a go at me on the pitch in front of all these people? You know, all these cameras, millions are watching. You're having a go at me when... I mean, he's not missed sitters. He's not threw the game away. It's his team that have threw it away. And in fairness, he's taken the team from on the edge of relegation to European football next season. He's done an amazing job. That just came entirely out of money as far as I'm concerned. Marinakis has looked at it and gone, he's already, in his head, he's already counted all that Champions League money. He knows how much money there is. He knows the difference between Europa League and Champions League is huge. And I think he's already planning for that. He's already planning for this huge Champions League windfall, and he's already spent some of it. I don't know. And that's why he's so angry. He's now bouncing down to the pitch and saying, we can't miss out on the Champions League now. I've got all these plans. It's absolute nonsense. Dream Chasers, boss, where is Osasuna based in La Liga? Well, as in, where are they in the table, you mean? They are currently in 11th, but they are only 3 points, with a game in hand, 3 points behind Rayo Vallecano in 8th, and 8th gets you a Conference League place. 8th is good enough for a Conference League place, and if they were to win tonight, they would go to 8th. Potentially, maybe goal difference, I'm not sure. But either way, they would be level on points with Vallecano going into the last 3 games of the season, and they would be only 2 points behind Celta Vigo, who are in a Europa League place. So a win here would be massive for Osasuna. Betis have rotated really, really heavily. Betis themselves are only 4 points behind Villarreal in 5th, who are in a Champions League spot. Villarreal and Betis, I think, are the straight two. They're the ones really competing for those Champions League places at the end of the season in La Liga. That guy Miles, booing Trent was a disgrace. No, it's not a disgrace, mate. He deserved a lot worse. That guy Miles, what has he actually done wrong to deserve that? Explain. Stanley, who are you watching? Watching Real Betis against Osasuna. Mucho Betis. Mucho Betis. Yeah, honestly, it's going to be a good game. It is going to be a good game. And it's a beautiful stadium as well. It's an absolutely gorgeous stadium. Beautiful. Sorry, 1 second. Let me catch up with the chat. M.1, Madrid, what a game. Hotspur Army, 1882, shocking by Spurs. Look, I mean, surely you're at the point now of the season, Spurs fans, where you're just looking at it and going, we've got Europe to come, it's all fine, it doesn't matter. M.1, Nuno should have gave him a crack. He's got Forest in the top half, which is very good. He's got them in Europe, mate. He's got them in Europe. Dream Chasers boss, no, I mean, where are they in Spain? Osasuna is northern Spain, if I'm not wrong. I think, are they near Bilbao? I'm sure they're near Bilbao. I think, yeah, they're right up near the border. I'm sure they're up near the border. I don't know if Bilbao's a derby for them, but I'm sure they're northern Spain, Osasuna. It's not the hottest anyway. It's not the hot part of Spain. That guy Miles, because he's honoured you with his whole life, won all those trophies, honoured his contract. No, it's because of the manner in which he's left, Miles. The manner in which he's left is unacceptable, and it's you know, I wouldn't expect necessarily the same from another player, but a local player who's come through the club, who professes to be a Liverpool fan. That is what the problem is. It's not that he's left. He could leave, no problem. He can leave. There's plenty of players left before. It's not a problem. He can leave. He can go on. It's fine. The club... Listen, the fans wouldn't have loved the decision, but they wouldn't have booed him. They wouldn't have booed him if he'd have left in the right way. If he'd have left in the way that, say, Declan Rice left West Ham, there would be no booing. There would be no booing at all. Absolutely none. No issue with him leaving. In fact, there's been players who've left, and the club, you know, they've applauded him off almost. The fans, they've said, you know, good luck and whatever. It's not. It doesn't have to be a horrible departure. But Trent Alexander-Arnold has absolutely categorically wiped his arse on the with the shirt and said, "In a bit, lads." That's what's happened. That is what has happened. Hotspur Army, I'm thinking of Europe, but we have to still give a good game. Still got a few weeks till the final. Yeah, of course. And it wasn't a particularly good performance, but I still think I mean, it's the same with United, isn't it? Spurs and United are putting all their eggs in that Europa League final basket. If they win it, it's a great season. If they don't, then they've maybe finished 17th and they've won nothing, which, as a Liverpool fan, I'd love that. That'd be amazing. From any United, if it's United, of course. I'm massively cheering Spurs on in that final. Blurry, yelling at Nuno, even though Nuno has put Nottingham Forest from top 17 to 7 is a disrespect. Yeah. Bilbao is the Basque region. Yeah. That guy Miles, how would you have liked him to leave? Is this all about the fact he cost nothing and he's going for nothing? No. Again, that makes no difference at all. If Trent had said, when he had known at the start of this season, or even in January, if he'd have said to the club, I am leaving, I am not signing a new contract, I am leaving the club. If he'd have said that, there would be no booing today. None. Absolutely none. He would have left. The fans would have said, okay, fine, he's let the club know, he's done everything he can to try and help the club deal with his departure in the most dignified way and maybe get a fee for him. You know, we were offered £25 million for Trent Alexander-Arnold in January, and at that point, Trent Alexander-Arnold was still saying to the club, well, I'm still making my mind up. I've still, I might sign a contract. There was a contract offer on the table for Trent. There was still a contract offer there. And he was saying, well, I'm not sure. I'm still deciding. Funnily enough, the contract, the Real Madrid offer was rejected by the club because, of course, Liverpool thought, well, hang on, we're not taking 25 million for him. He's still telling us he might stay. He doesn't know. He's still potentially staying with the club, and we want him to stay, of course. So he then gets, the club reject the offer. They reject the 25 million quid. And hey presto, 4 weeks later, Trent has a meeting with Arne Slot in the start of March and says, listen, it doesn't matter what contract offer you put in front of me, I'm not signing. So he's left it to the very, very last moment. He has known. Arsene Wenger himself said it in an interview not that long ago. The whole Trent and Real Madrid thing has been planned out for at least a year, maybe even a year and a half. Trent has known, Madrid have known, it's been planned since day dot, and he's now going to go there and get a massive signing on fee, massive wages, and he's going to play for Real Madrid. No problem with that, him leaving and going to Madrid. Fine, absolutely fine, on your bike, mate, good luck to you. It's the manner in which he's done it. That's what's upsetting Liverpool fans. It's nothing to do with him going, nothing to do with him going on a free. It's the manner in which he's done it, and that is what. Listen, all these media players, all these, there's people falling over themselves to say how bad Liverpool fans are. Now it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to boo Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's absolute nonsense. Players get booed all the time. Hey, listen, and if he can't deal with boos at Liverpool leaving, what's he going to do when he gets to Madrid? They get booed every week here. They get booed every week. I'm a guy, that guy Miles, I'm an Arsenal fan and I have mad respect for Liverpool, but TAA is deserving of a club like Madrid. I agree. I absolutely agree with that statement. He is deserving of a club like Madrid. I have no dispute at all. That guy Miles, thanks for explaining, bro. Nice to hear the opinion of a proper fan. Cheers, man. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think Madrid and Trent are made for each other. Unknown FRX, I personally think when he came on, everything got toxic. Yeah, and you know what? And that's the one thing I'll criticise Arne Slot for. I've just put it on X before I came on. He's got pretty much everything right all season. He got that wrong today. Trent Alexander-Arnold shouldn't play for Liverpool again, shouldn't wear the shirt, should never have wore the shirt today, should never have been on the pitch. We're off here. Oh, Osasuna very nearly score. Yeah, should never ever have been anywhere near the pitch today, Trent. He shouldn't be in the team. And to be honest, if I'm Arne Slot, maybe he plays again in the game against Brighton away. We play Brighton away next week. But the end of the season, the final game of the season against Crystal Palace at Anfield, when we do the trophy lift, he should be nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. Maybe he comes on towards the end, after the full-time whistle and he's, part of the celebrations. But absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nowhere in the team sheet. No chance. Low David 05, how do you know were you speaking to Trent? How do I know what? It was all... Mate, it's public knowledge. He's said it. Go and have a look. He had a meeting with Arne Slot at the start of March. And told him that was when he wanted to leave the club. Hotspur Army, if we don't win Europa League, then I don't know what I'm going to think of this season. It's like shit or bust, isn't it, for Man United and Spurs? You win the Europa League, then the season's been tolerable. Maybe it's all been worth it for something in the end. Still a bad season, but green shoots, something to cling on to. Champions League football next season. But if you don't win it, you finish 17th and you haven't won a bean, which that's hard to stomach, isn't it? I really do think that Ange Postecoglou's future at Spurs, I don't think it hinges on that anymore. I think Amorim's probably does. Maybe not in the same way. What I'm getting at is, I think if Amorim doesn't get Champions League football, doesn't get European football next season, Manchester United will be so tight in terms of finances and PSR. They're really struggling. If they don't get that Europa League win, I really think that Amorim will find it very difficult to get the players he needs to get Man United up the table next season. And therefore, I actually think he'll probably leave. He's come out immediately after the defeat today against West Ham and said that if I can't change the culture next season, the culture is I don't want to talk about the players, he said, but if I can't change the culture next season, then I think the club needs another coach. I don't think I'm going to be the right person for this if I haven't changed the culture next season, because we can't have another season like this. And that is the first bit of really strong honesty we've seen from any Man United manager in such a long time. It's a cultural issue. It really is. The club is so toxic, top to bottom. You're seeing good players at the club leaving and becoming great players again overnight. Anthony, McTominay, Smalling, Sancho's been all right. Lukaku, it's happened multiple times now. Liam Creighton, Trent said in an interview he wants to go down as a legend and the captain of the club. What changed? Well, look, I can understand that. He has made some statements in the past that have come back to haunt him. I don't really hold that against him. The bigger thing is Trent saying things like... They asked him in an interview, didn't they? If you could win the Ballon d'Or or the Champions League, what would you rather win? And he said the Ballon d'Or. Which really does tell you everything you need to know about Trent Alexander-Arnold as a person. It's personal joy, personal success over team success. And yeah, the fact that he would choose the Ballon d'Or over his team winning the Champions League speaks volumes, and it says exactly why I think he's perfect for Madrid. He'll go to Madrid, he'll probably win some stuff. He ain't going to win the Ballon d'Or, but he'll probably win some stuff. I'm sure he will. Madrid win things to that sort of a club. And he'll get a lot more abuse than he got today, put it that way. And I think at some point he will probably come back to the Premier League with his tail between his legs. And it won't be to Liverpool. I think he has fully burned those bridges. Fully burned those bridges. I actually think Trent will probably end up coming back and going to City or to Chelsea. He's that sort of a player. Unknown FRX, gosh, if he's crying about the boo in Liverpool, imagine how he gets to in Real Madrid, get bottles thrown. Yeah. Hotspur Army, Conor Bradley going to do well, isn't he? Isn't a bad young player, in my opinion. No, really good. Really good. He was probably at least partially at fault today for the Martinelli goal. The header, he didn't really close him down all that well. But yeah, Conor Bradley, if he gets a run in the team, he could be a reliable player. Maybe not as good as Trent, but he can be a very, capable right back. That guy Miles, do you think Trent can play in Alonso's system as a wing back? Sure, he plays a back three. Yeah, Trent will play a little bit further forward for Xabi Alonso. Shot here from Osasuna. Very nearly there, 1-0. It's end to end this already. It's been a good start. Really good start. Yeah, I think he can. I think he can play for Xabi Alonso. And I think if he plays in a wing-back position, he'll do all right. But he's still going to have defensive duties. When you look at the wing-backs in Alonso's system, they still do have those defensive duties. They've still got to get forward. They've got to be very, very athletic. They've got to get up and down that flank. And they do still have defensive duties. And they've got to be quite good in their 1v1s, which is what Trent has struggled with. I mean, the prime example of this, by the way, is Trent Alexander-Arnold has been dispossessed 57 times this season. Just this season. Jeremy Frimpong, who's one of the players that Liverpool are targeting to replace Trent, who played under Xabi Alonso, no less, at Bayer Leverkusen, in exactly that system. Jeremy Frimpong was dispossessed 57 times, the exact same number, over the last 4 seasons. So when you talk about players being good in possession, players being good in their 1v1s, Jeremy Frimpong is night and day with Trent Alexander-Arnold, and that is the exact system that Xabi Alonso works in. So Trent is going to have to sack it up. He's going to have to get a lot better defensively. I'm sure he'll have his moments. I'm sure he will do wonderfully well at Madrid. I'm sure he'll win things, but I think he's going to find it to be not quite what he was expecting as well. I think he'll learn very quickly that it's not Liverpool, and he's not going to get shielded when he makes a mistake. When he makes a mistake at Liverpool fans we've always fallen over ourselves to say, yeah, well, maybe defensively he is a bit crap, but do you know what? He's a wonderful player going forward. He's fantastic. Don't get any of that at Madrid. You'll have players chasing you out the training ground if you start, conceding ridiculous goals like he has recently. Unknown FRX, how we conceded 2 goals is frustrating as heck. George Hurness, Tottenham going to run you round Bilbao? I hope so. I really hope Tottenham beat United. Be yourself, Dylan. Napoli winning, yeah. Jake Curtin, Toon goes second if they beat Arsenal for 4th time this season. Doubters going to doubt. Well, we'll be live for that next weekend. Newcastle against Arsenal. And I do think Arsenal get the win. It's at the Emirates. Sorry, it's not Newcastle-Arsenal. It's Arsenal-Newcastle. So yeah, of course, we will be live for that one, and I'm sure that one's going to be a really good game. Be yourself, Dylan. Scott McTominay assist again. He's so good at Napoli. Man United again. Why they let him leave? That guy, Miles, what players do you think you could go get or want to get? As in Liverpool, players I think Liverpool could go and get. I think Frimpong's one of them that we're being targeted with. Good player. I'm not sure if he's the right player for us. I think he probably is the one we'll go and get. Just because he's available for 30 million quid, which is a bargain. He's homegrown, so we're not going to lose out on that whole thing. Trent's leaving, Frimpong comes in, still a homegrown player. It's fine. Frimpong comes in and that stays the same. I think we need a centre-back, at least one, because Kanate is potentially leaving the club. So Heisen would be one I would look at for obvious reasons. Apparently he's set for Chelsea. I hope that's not the case. But yeah, Heisen would be one I would look at. And I wouldn't mind us looking at Mark Gay. I think Gay from Palace is one to look at. He's still only got a year left on his contract, and you could get a decent deal on Mark Gay. And I think we need a centre forward, and whether that's maybe someone like Isak or Sesko or Osimhen's another one we've been looking at. Apparently Ekatiki's another one we've been looking at. Lots of players. I mean, you know what it's like. It's silly season. It's the summer. You can't really say yet. You can't really say. We'll be doing transfer shows over the summer to look at all the rumours that are coming out, not just with Liverpool, but with all clubs. And we'll be giving our views on them and stuff and asking you, the community, what you think of them. Charlie FTM, what edit should I do for the player? Scott McTominay. Do Scott McTominay. Danny G Official, when did you retire from pro football? Nil followers, nil following. I don't know, Danny. I don't know. I can't remember. It's a long time since I played football. That guy Miles, Frimpong is baller. His release clause is peanuts too. Yeah, it's true. Surely Trent knew he's going to join. He's going to Madrid since November. He's known for at least 12 months, if not 18 months. 18 months plus, I would argue. It's all been planned. I mean, and the biggest evidence that it's been planned, the biggest evidence is Trent Alexander-Arnold came out and said that he announced that he's leaving the club. Right? He announced that he's leaving the club, and the day after, Real Madrid put an official offer in to say we'd like to take him before the end of the season, so we can play in the Club World Cup. They make an official approach to do that. If you don't think that is coordinated and in totally and utterly PR planned, I just don't know how you function. It's the most coordinated, scripted thing you're ever likely to see. And that is another reason why Liverpool fans are annoyed with Trent, because that is so planned to force Liverpool's hand. He wants to leave and join Real Madrid early, right? Real Madrid want him to leave and join early. He wants to go. He wants to go, and the only way he does go is if Liverpool can't keep him and can't, control the situation. So he comes out with that announcement, and Madrid follow it up immediately after with, we'll take him early. The same thing happened in January. It's honestly, it's chaos that people are saying all this. It's a disgrace. I can't believe you're not supporting him. He's a rat. Jude Meta, so do you think Frimpong will join? I think he will, yeah. I think he will. Never sleep. Fans are crazy if they think players care about the clubs. They only care about themselves and money. Danny G Official, this geezer quoting journalists' work. So what's up with that? What's up with that, Danny? Fans are crazy if players think themselves, they only care about themselves and money. Yeah, well, I mean, you say that, but that's not always the case with local players. It doesn't happen. I mean, look at Declan Rice and the way that he conducted himself leaving West Ham. You could see umpteen cases of that. Jamie Carragher talked about that earlier today, funnily enough. He talked about he had an offer on the table from Liverpool to extend his contract by 1 year. And he stated he didn't want to sign it because he felt that if he did sign it, he would have Liverpool fans saying in the stands, he's too old, he's not good enough for him, he's not good enough to play for the club anymore. And he didn't think he was good enough to play every week for Liverpool, so he retired. He said if he was at Aston Villa or Chelsea or wherever, it's another club, an employer, someone he didn't really care about, he would have took the contract because he'd have took it for himself and he'd have gone and sat on the bench and took the money and not bothered. But he didn't want to take it for Liverpool because he's a local lad, that's his club, and he didn't want he didn't want to be that player where 35-year-old Jamie Carragher's come off the bench and fans are going, not Carragher, sort of thing. And that's an example of putting the club before the player. That does happen with local players. You do expect that of them. And that certainly is more pronounced with Liverpool maybe than other clubs. Mixter, no Trent at Liverpool, yes. Frimpong will go City. Yeah, Frimpong could go City, couldn't he? He could go back to Man City. But I doubt it. He's been at Man City for, 10 years? He was at Manchester City. I don't think he goes back to City. He already said, actually, that he wanted to go to Liverpool. And the only reason he went to City was because City's academy was closer. City's academy was 10-15 minutes away for him on a bus. And he didn't have a car. His family didn't drive. So that's why he chose City's academy over Liverpool's. Which I thought was really interesting, that Frimpong would come out and say that. Madrid are doing the same with Saliba, but do you think he'll sign a contract so he won't go for free? Mate, this is how Madrid operate. They did it with Mbappe. They're doing it with, well, they've done it with Trent. This is how Madrid operate. They go to players and say, look, we'd like you, but for us to give you the big deal that you want, you need to show us that you want us, and you need to go to your club and say you're not signing a contract, and then we'll take you on a free. We don't pay any transfer fee, but we'll give you a nice big signing on fee, nice big juicy signing on fee, and nice wages, and you come to us. That's what's happened. That is what's happened with Mbappe. That's what's happened with Trent. It probably is what will happen with Saliba. And if it isn't Saliba, it might be Konate. If Liverpool don't sell Konate, if Konate doesn't sign a contract this summer, we'll sell him. Guaranteed. There's no way we lose Konate on a free. We'll sell him. Because Konate will have been obvious and said he wants to leave. Trent Alexander-Arnold didn't. That's why he's a rat. Jin, moving on to bigger and better things. He's a local lad. You wouldn't like it if it was you. What do you mean I wouldn't like it if it was me? If it was me, I wouldn't do it. If it was me, I wouldn't do it. There you go. Seamus Price 2. Who do you think is getting 8th? Brentford. I think they're just going to sneak in. Napoli 1, Genoa 1. Yeah, I think Brentford will just sneak in. They've started playing really, really well towards the end of the season. Gerrard would have left if he didn't get death threats. That's a myth. That's an absolute myth. Steve MUFC, I'm a United fan, and the way Liverpool fans have turned on Trent is disgusting. Alright. It's not like United fans to boo a player, is it? Seamus Price, who do you think... who do you think is getting 8th? We've done that one. Ben Hughes, you're not watching League One playoffs. Well, I'm not watching it now because it kicked off before the end of the Liverpool game, or just as the Liverpool game finished. Here's Osasuna breaking forward. This is a great game, to be fair, and I've not really commented on it. It was a really good game. Osasuna and Betis, both. It's kind of end-to-end. So we're not watching the first leg of Charlton and Wickham, but I am watching the second leg of Charlton and Wickham. That is penciled in on the schedule. Steve MUFC, bro, you booed him today. Why? Because he turned down staying at Liverpool because he wants a new challenge. No, that's not right, Steve. That's not right, Steve. You're completely wrong, Steve. You're completely and utterly wrong there, Sunshine. It really isn't because he wants to go. No one has an issue with that. The way you leave is how it's done. Yeah, exactly. So important. He's disgraced himself on the way out. It is. It's a total disgrace. That's what it is. That's what it's about, Steve. That guy, Miles, I think Arsenal rather sell than lose him on a free. Agreed? Yeah. We haven't booed and turned on a player because he wants a new challenge somewhere. You might want to roll back the clock. Roll back the clock, I think, and have a look at some of the players who've left United over the years. Because I think you'll find that has happened a number of times. And again, that isn't what you've just said there is factually incorrect anyway. Liverpool fans haven't booed him because he wants a new challenge. That isn't why. Be yourself, Dylan. Rafinha is on the shortlist for the Ballon d'Or. True, yeah. Steve, MUFC, typical Liverpool fan, deluded. Okay, Liverpool fans are deluded. There we go. Good luck in 17th, Steve. Steve MUFC, well, that's what Liverpool fans I know have told me. If I'm wrong, I apologise. Apology accepted, Steve. Apology accepted. It's fine. Listen, we can all get wrong. We can all get things wrong. So, apology accepted, Steve. No problem. No problem. You can be wrong. That's totally fine. At least you can admit you're wrong. That's the main thing, innit, Steve? At least you can admit when you're wrong. Which makes you a lot different to other United fans, so fair play. Here's Osasuna. Great play down the left-hand side. Oh, there's a claim for the penalty. He's not getting that. No chance you're getting that. Jane, not like Trent is someone you're going to miss. He's not good. Has one good attribute, that's it. Yeah, he's not like a top fullback like Livramento, is he? He's not like one of them best fullbacks in the league like you said, Livramento. If only he was as good as Livramento. Um, cheers, Callum. It's my fault, that, mate. Cheers. Cheers for the heads up. Barry Ryan, will Big Ange stay if they win it? I hope so. Yeah, I really hope they do. Keep hold of him. I really hope they do keep hold of him. Ben, you can't begrudge anyone a move. The way you do it is the most important thing. Yeah, absolutely agree with that. That guy Miles, do you like any of the other Liverpool YouTubers? AGT is good. You're top. To be honest, mate, if I'm honestly dead, I'm not trying to throw shade on anyone at all. I don't know any of the other Liverpool YouTubers, and I wouldn't consider myself a Liverpool YouTuber. I literally set this channel up in January because I used to go to loads of footy matches, and now I can't go to any footy matches really because, well, multiple reasons, but main reason being I'm a dad. That's why the channel's name is Premier League Dad. It's too expensive. I've got my little girl. All my money goes towards my little girl and my wife and my family. It's too expensive. You can't go to. It's not a working class game anymore. You can't go to 10, 15, 20 games a season. I used to travel all over the world watching Liverpool. So I just can't do it. So now I watch the games at home with you. And to be honest, again, that's another reason why my wife used to always say, "Why are you sat here? Why are you watching Betis against Osasuna? You support Liverpool. Why are you watching Betis and Osasuna?" And I fully admit, total football nerd. If there's football on telly, I'm watching it. Don't matter who it is. I'll watch League 2, I'll watch Spain, I'll watch France, I'll watch Germany, I don't mind. I'll watch anyone. I love football, absolutely love it. And that's why I set the channel up, because I thought, well, there must be some other absolute nerds out there who like watching a bit of footy, who don't mind who's on, and they'll watch him. Who like and enjoy a bit of La Liga and like educating themselves on other teams, other leagues, other countries, other players. Beautiful stadiums in different countries. So yeah, I honestly don't know any other football YouTubers all that much anyway. I know a few, like obviously Mark Goldbridge is the gold standard, but there's not that many others that I really follow. Toffee TV are really good. Some of the United ones are not bad as well that I watch from time to time. If they've had a big defeat, obviously AFTV. There's a few fan channels that do really, really well, but they're also just about one club as well, aren't they? They're just one club, and that's the other thing I don't really like. I always feel like you just get an echo chamber, then, don't you? You just get one set of fans talking about, oh, this play's really good, yeah, this play's really good, and it just becomes an echo chamber of the same opinion. Whereas here, as you've already seen, we're watching Betis and Osasuna. We're sat here talking with United fans, Newcastle fans, Arsenal fans, City fans, Chelsea fans, Coventry fans, Bristol City fans. We've had them all, and it's brilliant. Everyone comes in and gives their opinion. That's fine. That's exactly what you want. Yamal going to be the one the Prem are looking at in future. I really don't think Yamal's coming to the Prem anytime soon. I really hope so. If he did, but I don't think he is. He's a wonderful player. I think he's going to be one that stays at Barca forever, like your Xavis, your Iniestas, who admittedly didn't stay at Barca forever, but you know what I'm getting at. They only left towards the very, very end of their contract. Yamal going to be the one the Prem are looking at in future. Steve, truthfully, who do you think will win the Europa League final? Spurs, mate. I genuinely think Spurs will win it. United haven't beat Spurs in 3 years. Spurs have been the better team. Again, over a full season, Spurs have been better than United. They've got one of the best attacks in the Premier League. And I think Spurs are, like I say, Man United haven't been particularly good all season. Spurs have been better. United haven't got a good record against Spurs. Spurs have beat United 3 times already this season. So, for me, the form table, everything goes in Spurs' favour. So, for that reason, I would say Spurs are the team to win. Ben, why do you hope they keep hold of Ange Key? I like him. Like I said, I think he's prickly in interviews. He brings something new to the Premier League. And you know what? Again, I keep saying it, but whenever you get a manager come to the Premier League and throw caution to the wind, look at Spurs. Spurs are like 17th, right? 16th, 17th, whatever they are, right? They've scored 1 goal less than Arsenal, I think, all season. Or at least, I think that... I don't know if it's changed now, obviously, before kick-off today. But they'd scored 1 goal less than Arsenal all season by the start of today. They're in 16th or 17th. Like, they have really gone for it. And when you get a manager who really goes for it and is attacking, attack-minded, he's not Mikel Arteta. He's not, a manager that's very risk-averse, and it's boring football. When you get a manager who plays good, entertaining football, you want to keep him in the league. A manager that takes chances. Oliver Glasner, Thomas Frank, Andoni Iraola. These are managers who play on the front foot. You want to keep your Ange Postecoglou's. Get rid of your Sean Dyches, your Mikel Artetas, and all them who are a bit pragmatic, overly pragmatic, I guess. Resilient, resolute, low block, all that sort of thing. Steve, £65 to go to Old Trafford. It's not cheap yet, no kidding. Just heard Man United have arranged a friendly, by the way, with Fiorentina for pre-season. So David De Gea is coming back to the club. The boss L20, good to see you, mate. That guy Miles, big up the dads. I'm a dad of a young daughter too. Your kids really change your life, big up. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Oliver Jordan, and your knowledge is still nil. Hitting me where it hurts, Oliver. Hitting me where it hurts. You've absolutely caned me there. Ben, did you just say Spurs have one of the best attacks in the Prem? Look it up. Look it up. One of the best attacks in the Prem, factually. Factually, 1 goal less than Arsenal all season. How are you arguing that's not one of the best attacks in the Prem? Standard. Absolutely standard. Razine, how's the game going? It's alright, mate. Yeah, it's good. Jim, hi, mate. Haven't caught you at all today. How's the doggo? If you want me to shut up about it, just tell me. No, it's fine. Dog is really, really feeling better, I think, or at least we hope so. He's not actually. He's in pain. He's in a lot of pain, but that's a good thing. Because we thought he might be paralysed. We thought it might be, a difficult decision we might have to make for him. But he's feeling what they call DPS now, deep pain sensation, which means it's not nice for him, but it's good. It means it could heal, it could get better, he could regain sensation. So, yeah, we're just fingers crossed. We're just keeping an eye on him, but hopefully it's all good. Thanks for asking, mate. Steve, I did laugh at that bit, to be honest. It's true. It's true. Honestly, Spurs, one of the best attacks in the Prem. You can't argue with it. Unknown, we really need to sort our back line in the summer. What's your balance? Get Poch out. I want my 16-1 bet on Xavi. Ben Twist, but Arsenal's attack is shit too. Listen, if Arsenal's attack is shit, then I don't really want to know what a good attack is. Arsenal have got a very good attack. Spurs have got a very good attack. If you're talking about ranking the quality of attacks in the Premier League, those two are up there. And a large part of that, by the way, is how Ange Postecoglou sets them up. He goes for the throat. He goes to kill games off. And that's what you want. You want managers who have a go. Makes the Premier League far more entertaining. You don't want managers who are just, like I said, hesitant and risk-averse. Steve MUFC, the issue is United step up when they're underdogs, so you never know. The thing is, I don't think you would consider United underdogs in that final. I think Spurs have the form, or at least the form against Man United. They've been better than United across a whole season. They've knocked United out of a cup already this season. And they've beat United twice home and away in the league. So you would argue that Spurs and United haven't beat them in 3 years. So you would argue Spurs have got the form against United. That doesn't necessarily make them favourites. United will go into this as favourites. I'm almost certain. I've not checked the bookies. I don't know what. In fact, I'll look at the bookies now. Let's do it. Let's do it now, right? I will bet. I'm not going to bet, but you know what I mean. I'm going to have a look, and I reckon Spurs will be second favourites in that final. I'd be very, very surprised if they're not. Europe. Not Europe. That's not what we want. We want... not upcoming matches. Come on. Where are you? Most used soccer. Right, here we go. This is what we was after. Europa League. UEFA Europa League. Right. Tottenham are second favourites. It's nearly 3-1 for Tottenham to win. 2.5-1 for Manchester United. So, yeah, Man United are absolutely favourites going into the Europa League with all the bookies. Ben, I'd have Dejan Kulusevski from Spurs attack. That's it. Who else? I know, but that's a bit FIFA, isn't it, Ben? Come on. That's a little bit FIFA. That's not how you raise. That's not what a good attack looks like. It's not about who's better on paper. It's not about he's got a better. Kulusevski you'd have. It doesn't matter. Fact is, they've scored more than the vast majority of Premier League teams. Therefore, and look, attack isn't just about the front three, is it? Attack is about the entire team, how they go forward, how many bodies they commit, all that sort of thing. It's a full team effort. Same with defending. If a team's rubbish at defending, you don't just look at the back four and the keeper, do you? Steve, I see Kane has won a trophy at last. Yeah. Ben, Johnson, Son, Solanke, all not good enough to compete at the top. Fact. Definitely not fact. Definitely not fact. How can you say that? Heung-min Son, Johnson, Solanke, all not good enough to compete at the top. Madness. Absolute madness. User not found. We've talked about this before, pal, but Spurs get 8 to 9 players minimum in a combined 11 with United. Let's do that. Let's do that. Why not, right? I would go Vicario in goal. Chance here for Betis. Oh, well done, Osasuna. Really, really good play there. Really, really good play. 1 second. I'm just trying to keep up with everything on the scoreboard. Oh, Lo Celso from distance. Good save. Yeah, I would go Vicario in goal. Vicario in goal. I would go Van der Ven and Romero for certain at centre-back. And full-backs, I would go... I'd probably go Mazraoui and a doggy. I probably would put Mazraoui in there. That's probably the first United player I would have. Just because, Jed Spence has had a decent season, but I think Mazraoui's been really good too since he's come in. Midfield, if you're going to go 4-3-3, I know United don't necessarily play that way, but I'd probably go Fernandes, Maddison, Sarr. Fernandes, Maddison, Sarr. That would be my midfield three. And then your front three, you're probably going to take... maybe Johnson. Does Garnacho get in there? I don't think he does he? I don't think Højlund does. I don't think Xerxes does. So I think it's probably just Spurs front three, isn't it? I think it's Kulusevski, not Johnson. Kulusevski, Son and Solanke. It's probably the front three. Kulusevski, Son and Solanke, Maddison, Fernandes and Sarr. Or Maddison, Fernandes, Bentancur. Either one. Key, your Spurs, blinkers blow me away. Ben, I've not mentioned FIFA. I'm talking from the front line. Who's individually good? Yeah, all of them. All of them are good. Good players. Just because they don't get into the Liverpool side doesn't mean they're not good. If Spurs were Chelsea this season, you'd be ripping the piss out of them. I've ripped the piss out of Spurs as well. I have ripped the piss out of Spurs. You've just maybe not been around when I've done it. Lou, what's that Ezal Zuli saying? Apparently Everton looking at him. If you get Ezal Zuli, you've done well. He's a cracking player. But again, I just don't see Everton. Everton haven't got the cash. Where's Everton's cash coming from? Are you giving him the money you're making on these hackers, Lou? Because you're making an absolute killing on them hackers. That's the only way Everton are going to be able to afford him. User not found. VDV and Romero, unreal. Yeah, absolutely agree. Watership and Kulu went off injured today. Might be knackered for the final. Yoro as well. Yeah, Lenny Yoro as well. Potentially out for the final. Steve MUFC, I see Liverpool want Mason Greenwood. Apparently it was online earlier. Can't see Mason Greenwood coming back to the Premier League, full stop. Certainly not Liverpool anyway. They'd be uproar. There'd be uproar for him coming back. A doggy gets in, then Bruno and Ahmad. And that's it. I don't think Ahmad gets in. Ahmad doesn't get in over Kulusevski. Ahmad definitely doesn't get in over Kulusevski. User not found 600. I would say Ahmad and Bruno, maybe Mazraoui. For me, it's just Mazraoui and Bruno. That's it. Mazraoui and Bruno. They're the only ones I would put in. Ben, no, but Key were on about competing at the top, winning trophies. Well, they're in a final. They're in a final. Listen, if you're talking about winning trophies, I mean, look, Newcastle, half of Newcastle's team, you wouldn't say a top. Like Dan Burn, Fabian Schär, would you say they're top players? You wouldn't use that expression for Dan Burn, Fabian Schär, Trippier, Livramento, Murphy, Harvey Barnes. You wouldn't say it. They're all okay players, but they function well in a squad. It's the same thing with Spurs. Sometimes Spurs, you don't look at them individually, you look at them as a team, and collectively they've got one of the best attacks in the league. You can't look at the players individually. It's not about a game of individuals, it's a game it's a team game. Team game. Ben Twist, Brennan Johnson, a good Prem player, so is Solanke. Will they win with those two? Absolutely not. I mean, Solanke, they paid 60 million quid for. He had a great season at Bournemouth. It hasn't been a great season for him so far at Spurs, but he's a good finisher. He's someone you can rely on. I think he could do better next season for Spurs. Ben, are Newcastle ahead of Spurs in every department other than infrastructural? Yes. And that's not the question, is it? It's not the question. You was talking about individuals versus team, and I'm saying you can't base the quality of a team just on he's good and he's not. A team is attacking wise. They attack as a team. They defend as a team, and factually, Spurs have a better attack than most teams. So they're gonna, and that's why I think they'll beat United. That's why I think they beat United 3 times already. They've already knocked them out of one cup. United haven't beat them in 3 years. That's why I think Spurs will win the final. But they go into the final as underdogs. Again, that's the reality of Manchester United, the gargantuan big club, which they are. I'm not saying they're not, by the way. That wasn't sarcasm. They are absolutely a big club. Jim, did you see the Forest owner going on the pitch after the match? Yeah, I still can't believe that Marinakis going in and giving that to Nuno Santo. I mean, Gary Neville said after the game that if it was him, he would be going and negotiating his exit. He'd be going and negotiating his exit with the owner. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure he feels that strongly about it. I'm sure he'll deserve an apology at some point. Jim, Newcastle are third, aren't they? And just 3 points behind Arsenal. Do you think this is the best ever season for the club with league performance and, of course, the cup win? Yeah. I mean, I don't know what best ever, but certainly the best in my lifetime, probably my dad's lifetime. So, you're probably talking 2 or 3 generations of Newcastle fans who haven't seen anything like this. So, yeah, it's massive, of course. Probably the best ever in recent history, certainly. And then that wouldn't really be all that surprising that they get a little bit carried away. Like, there's Newcastle fans in this chat saying that they're going to win the Champions League or that they're going to compete for the Premier League next season. It's nonsense. Results have been better than performances for Newcastle. They are one that I think could drop out of the Champions League places next season. The same with Forest. Mr. T, Nuno's come out and basically said everything's fine, emotions were running high. Yeah, and do you know what? I think there was someone who said that in the chat during the game as it happened, or just after it happened, rather, during the Liverpool-Arsenal game, that maybe it was like a PR thing, maybe it was not a PR thing, like just going onto the pitch and trying to show the fans that we're all in it together, we're all kind of frustrated, we're all... we're one of you kind of thing. From the top to the bottom, the club is really frustrated and annoyed as well. So it's not just the fans feeling the pressure. And maybe he was trying to... Maybe he didn't read the room. I don't know. But it's very diplomatic of Nuno to come out and say that. I'm sure he wasn't best pleased with it, but... User that found, I honestly can't see United scoring past Van der Ven and Romero. Oh, I can. That's the beauty of Spurs. I've said that they've got one of the best attacks in the Prem. They've also got one of the worst defences in the Prem. So they'll probably the other way. I think it could be a rough night for both teams' goalkeepers. Onana will get plenty to save, and I think Vicario will too. Jim, I can't stand Carra, but he made a good point saying Nuno deserves much more credit for this season's success than the owner does. Can't spell his name. Yeah, Marinakis. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's fair to say. Adam Anslow 765. Villa are going to creep into that top 5. I don't disagree with you at all, Adam. Yeah, don't disagree with you at all. It's going to be an interesting end to the season for Villa. Manchester United away last day of the season. Potentially a Manchester United that have already lost the Europa League final. Maybe a Manchester United that have already won the Europa League final. And will be bladdered, I'm sure. Probably drunk out their mind still. Or recovering from a great night. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they were to beat United at Old Trafford. Plenty of other teams have. West Ham did today. And before that, obviously, they play Spurs at Villa Park. And that's 5 days before the Europa League final. So they've got to beat Spurs. And United, I would be amazed if they didn't. Because they're going to play a United that's in the mud, aren't they? They're going to play either a United that's happy and chuffed and hungover, or they're going to play a United that's absolutely devastated. The fans probably won't turn up because they'll be gutted, and it'll be a horrendous end to the season where they've maybe finished 17th in the league table with nothing to show for it. It'll be one of those two. Ben, here we go. Newcastle will win a major trophy before Spurs. They've already won a major trophy. Adam Anslow, it was like a Phil Brown moment. Yeah, remember that? Phil Brown at the Etihad, and then Jimmy Bullard did the celebration the year after, didn't he? Mr. T, at the end of the day, still guaranteed European football, so not a bad day at the office. No, not at all. Yeah, not at all. It's a great season for Forest. Really, really great season. T, up the blades. We're watching Sheffield United. Is it tomorrow night? Sheffield United, Bristol City at Bramhall Lane. We're doing a live watch along of that one anyway. So, yeah, looking forward to that one. Adam Anslow, big game Friday for us. Don't have a good record against the Spuds. I think you'll beat Spurs. I really do. I think you'll beat Spurs. If you can't beat Spurs, let me put it this way. If you can't beat Spurs 5 days before the European final, when every bugger else has beaten them, if whatever team Spurs put out today, it'll be even weaker in the game against Villa, because he'll chance nobody. Anyone who's going to play any part in that European final, anybody who says they maybe have got a bit of a tweak or they're feeling a bit under the weather, they won't play. They won't play, and he'd be mad to do so. He would be absolutely mad to do so. So I think you'll see players like Mikey Moore get a game. There's loads of players I think who could get a goal for Spurs. Obviously Bergvall isn't around, but Archie Gray started playing well. I think you'll see lots of young players in for Spurs against Villa. Heavily rotated. Watership Allen, my mate, chin Phil Brown at a charity game. Yeah, I've heard a few things about Phil Brown. Jim, I don't think Forest should be too frustrated. I mean, it's disappointing how such an incredible season has ended. But as my dad said to me, don't cry that it's over, be happy that it happened. That's a nice way to look at life, isn't it? Yeah, look, you've got to take the positives out of the season, and Forest have been incredible. Really, really good. To go from where they were to where they are, even if they only finish in the Europa League, and by the way, they are still only a point. Is it a point off the Champions League places? They beat Chelsea on that final day. I mean, assuming they win next week, of course. But if they beat Chelsea on that final day, they probably still get Champions League football. And it's at the City Ground, so there's definitely still time for Forest. It's not over yet. Today was a blow, but it's not over yet. What was I going to say? Spurs will get battered against Villa because of resting players. No, not that one. Will, did you know that the third top scorer in La Liga is the Osasuna striker? Yeah, Budimir. He's had a good season. He's playing tonight. I would have thought that Betis would have put a stronger team out here. I still think they'll do enough to win it, just about. Look at them Osasuna fans. There's literally about 25 Osasuna fans in the away end there. They don't really do away fans in Spain, do they? But yeah, there's about 25 Osasuna away fans there. Mr. T, personally, I fear the Champions League would get spanked constantly. Take Europa for now. I think Europa's a good starting block in it to get into the Champions League. Maybe if Forest do all right in that, then, you know, come the end of the season. Oh, what play that is. Oh, that's great play there. Down the left-hand side. And what a save by Adrian for Betis. It's a great... That's fabulous there. Absolutely fabulous from... who was it? Who was down the left-hand side there? Zaragoza. Brian Zaragoza. Sensational play. Ex-Bayern Munich player. Zaragoza. Dream Chasers boss, they are in the Conference League final against Chelsea though. Yeah, Betis are. Yeah, but that's only in 17 days. So it's not like they're resting players tonight for that. They've still got a big chance of getting to the Champions League places via the league. So they would be mad. They would be that's a penalty, and maybe not a penalty, that's a red card maybe. That might be a red card here. That might be a red card. That is chaos. Adrian has just got studded. He's just got studded off the Osasuna striker there. Ball gets played into the box, and the Osasuna striker does. Do you remember what Sadio Mane did to Ederson? When Ederson was charging out of his goal, Sadio Mane came out and tried to win. That's basically what's just happened there with Adrian and the Osasuna striker. I don't know which Osasuna player it was, but Adrian is still down. It's Budimir. It's a yellow card for Budimir. Ruben Garcia is just having a word with the ref and saying the ball was there to be won. Mark Bartra is the opposite. Mark Bartra's Real Betis captain. He's saying, hang on a minute. He went in flying, studs up, jumped. Let's just watch this back. I think this was... Yeah, you can't give him a red for that. You can't give him a red for that. He did go for the ball. It was just a bit reckless. Colour splash. There's only one Conor Bradley. Yeah. Love Conor Bradley. Dream Chasers boss, where can I watch it? It's on La Liga TV, mate. La Liga TV. Jaden Thompson score. It's still 0-0. Yeah, still 0-0. Jim, just imagine Forest get relegated next season. I don't think they will, but can you just imagine? Mr. T, talking a red, how did Jackson get a red when Mings didn't for the same thing? Oh, it wasn't the same thing. Come on. That wasn't the same thing. I don't think that was the same thing. You can't say that. The Jackson red card. The Jackson red card was a red card, wasn't it? It was a nailed on red card. It was the fact that Botman was looking. Botman was looking at the ball. The ball was coming down. Botman was looking at it. And Nicholas Jackson only had eyes on Botman. He was looking straight at him and he went like that and led with his elbow. I think that was a nailed on red card. Tyrone Mings was reckless, but he didn't throw it out. He didn't throw it out, and he was going for the ball. It was reckless. It was a yellow card. I don't think it was a red. It wasn't the same as Jackson's, though. Definitely not the same. Not in my opinion, anyway. Jaden Thompson, I think 1-0. Anthony goal. Yeah, Anthony isn't playing. He's on the bench, mate. But he might well come off the bench at some point, I'm sure. Let me just get that back to half-time. 45 minutes. Okay. Mr. T only saw it at a glance whilst at work. Yeah, no, I think Tyrone Mings would have been very unlucky to get sent off in that. In that instance, anyway. Will they have Isco and Anthony on the bench? I used to love Isco when he played for Madrid. Yeah, he was a very good player, wasn't he? Yeah, he still is. He still is a really good player. They're not really giving him too many opportunities to do his stuff lately. I think they're trying to rest him and just keep him fresh for that Europa Conference League final. But yeah, Lo Celso's come in and done well when he's played. But to have Lo Celso and Isco in that number 10, that's some competition, that for Betis. Jim, I'm struggling to get an opinion on the Mings one. I think the arm was outstretched, but the movement was the normal movement you do when you're running. I don't know what to think on that one. I see where you're coming from, Jim. Yeah, I think I would probably agree with you on that one. But when you... I also have the opinion that I think you should always have a really high barrier or a really high threshold rather for sending players off. Like if it's not a red card, or at least if you're unsure if it's a red, then it's not a red. It's not a red. You don't want to give reds willy-nilly. We have to be having a threshold for sending players off the pitch. So personally, I would rather keep players on and give them yellow cards. I actually wouldn't even mind if we did timeouts and timeouts. You know what I mean? Whatever they're called. What are they called in American football or basketball? My head's gone. I've had a long day. What are they called then? What are they called? That's doing me head in. Sin bin. Sin bin. Yeah, sin bin, right? I wouldn't mind having sin bins. That's the one, Mr. T. There you go. You beat me to it. Sin bin. Like they have in rugby. Yeah, so I wouldn't mind having like an orange card for that. I'd rather have that than players sent off. I think it would be much, much better if we move to that in football. And rather than have yellow cards and red cards and that's it. Because now what we have is players getting sent off for 2 yellow card offences. And like, the first yellow card can be a really soft one. Like, I think referees referee games now, and sometimes they referee the crowd, don't they? So what they'll do, for example, is a player, let's say there's loads of tackles flying in and the referee's determined he's not going to give a yellow card. But the fans are getting really annoyed, really agitated that there's no yellow cards being dished out. He'll then give a yellow card just to kind of appease the crowd a little bit, often for something really soft, like a player standing in front of a free kick to try and slow the game down. Now, I don't like that. It is a foul, but I wouldn't want to see yellow cards dished out here and there for it, because you'd be giving them out all game. So if the player gets a yellow card for that and then 2 minutes later does their first actual foul of the game, they're off. There was Newcastle fans wanting a Brighton player sent off the other day. They was up in arms for it. They was screaming in the chat saying, we have to have him sent off. He's got to be sent off. He only fouled twice. Matt Tweefer it was. Matt Tweefer did 2 fouls for Brighton in that Newcastle game. And the Brighton manager took him off. Fabian Herzl took him off because he knew if he left him on, that ref was going to send him off. He did 2 fouls. He got a yellow card for the first. It was pointless. Absolutely. It was never a yellow card, but he got it because of the accumulation of other players fouling. And then the second foul probably was a yellow card, but the ref didn't give it. And he went, right, the Herzl just went, right, get him off the pitch. Whereas if he had an orange card to give in that position, I think the ref would have given it. He'd have said, right, you're going off, sin bin, 10 minutes, you're off the pitch. And then managers would have to react, wouldn't they? They'd have to go, fine, we've got to deal with the next 10 minutes with 10 men. And you might, then it might be dead exciting, mightn't it? It might be like a half-time multi-ball, where you get the opposition go, Christ, we've got a 10-man, we've got a one-man advantage for the next however many minutes, 10 minutes. Let's go gung-go, let's go and put an extra man up front, let's go and, really go for it in the next 10 minutes, because we've got a chance. It'd change games, it'd make it so exciting, I think. Jaden Thompson, I sat next week. Nice. Love it. Simbin, they have it in rugby. Did you see how many was dished out at Selhurst Park the other day? Yes. Yeah. Again, and you get some referees who'll give them, some who won't. And sometimes you get different referees on different days, won't you? They wake up that morning and they choose violence. They just want to card everyone. Jim, I think if you dive, get a yellow, and then get another yellow, you should get a sin bin, because I don't like players getting sent off for diving. Depends if it's an actual dive or not. Like, there's a lot of players who, quote-unquote, invite contact, isn't it? A lot of players who invite contact. Or, like was it not Murphy, was it Willock the other day? Willock the other day for Newcastle against Brighton. First time you see that in real time, Stonewall penalty, and then you look at it on the replay and it's a dive. But it's not a dive at the same time, because the player is flying in. Van Hecker is flying in, and at the very last second he pulls out. And Willock is obviously anticipating the fact that this guy's going to come sliding into him, and he starts to lift his back leg. I don't know if that's a dive. Like, there's shades of grey, isn't there? There's dives like that, and then there's dives where it's a total dive. Like, you've tried to, like, hang a leg out. If you've tried to hang a leg out and catch the player, that's more of a dive to me. But some would argue that's a skill set in the modern game. Caesar, good result for the Palace today. Yeah, listen, cheering Palace on in that FA Cup final against City. I think everyone, bar Manchester City, Brentford, Brighton, and Bournemouth, everyone apart from those 4 teams are cheering Palace on. Everyone wants Palace to win that FA Cup final apart from those 4 teams. Obviously City because it's City in the final, and Bournemouth, Brighton and Brentford because if City win, then the Europa League places drop down an extra position in the league, don't they? So they might get a place in Europe if indeed it is City who win the FA Cup. Jaden, I think it should be 2 yellows, sin bin, another yellow, a red. Yeah, I'd be happy with anything like that as long as there's some sort of a threshold for it. Jim Shah was going to wipe him out, but Watkins leapt far too early. The Watkins 1v Newcastle. Yeah, that was that. Yeah, I remember that one as well. That got given as a dive, didn't it? Or it wasn't a penalty. I remember that. Mr. T, their season deserves the FA Cup. And you know, and Oliver Glasner as well. Glasner deserves the FA Cup. And Eze and Mateta and Sarr, Wharton, Gay, Lacroix, Munoz. They've all had a really, really strong season. So, yeah, I totally agree with that. Same with Forest. I'd like to see Forest get into the Champions League ideally. But if not, Europa League would still be a great season. No skill, Adam. What's the score, lad? It is 0-0 currently. Betis and Osasuna. It's been a bit of an end-to-end game. It has been quite good. Plenty of chances, but still 0-0. Betis are heavily rotated. No Anthony, no Isco, no Bakambu, no Fornals, no Rodriguez, no Isco. Yeah, lots of players changes. So I'm sure they will bring some off the bench. Barcelona celebrating there like they've won the league, which they have. Mr. T, who do you support? I'm a Liverpool fan, mate. Liverpool fan. But as you can tell, I don't know if you're new to the channel, but I watch everyone. We watch everyone on this channel. We do watch-alongs every single day. 4 times a day on a Saturday, 4 times a day on a Sunday. A back-to-back. Yeah, we just watch everyone. So we're watching the playoffs tomorrow. Sheffield United against Bristol City. Tuesday, Sunderland and Coventry. Tomorrow, we're actually watching Venezia against Fiorentina at Serie A. In Serie A at 5 o'clock. So yeah, football every single day on this channel. All different teams. Go and check them out if you like that sort of thing. No skill, Aaron. Palace deserve the FA Cup. United deserve the Europa. Behave yourself. Zuki, Newcastle to win the Champions League. Yeah, I don't think Newcastle get in the Champions League just yet. I'm not sure about Newcastle. They're still just teetering. I think today was a big result for them, but I think Newcastle could yet drop out of it. They've got a couple of big games there, and I still think what's going to happen is they're going to lose next week against Arsenal. I think Chelsea beat United, and I think Aston Villa beat Spurs, and that would put all 3 teams on 66 points going into the final game of the season. That'll be unbelievable if that does happen. Zuki, opinions on Bobby Clark? Didn't work out for him, did it? It just didn't work out for him. I don't know where he is now, Bobby Clark. Is he gone to Is he still at not Leipzig, Salzburg? Is he still at Salzburg? Jaden Thompson, do you think Isak will get top 10 for Ballon d'Or? No. Caesar, I'm a Scottish Crystal Palace fan. Nice. Who's your SPL team? Or have you got a Scottish team? I don't think Isak will get top 10 for Ballon d'Or, no. Salzburg, yeah, I was going to say, it never worked out for him, obviously, coming to Liverpool. He is a very talented player. He's done all right at Salzburg from the little I've seen. But yeah, I think he'll need a bit more time, a bit more game time. Then UFC, PMSL, we won them all 3 times this season, so what says they're going to win this one? I just think Newcastle aren't as good a side as Arsenal. The fact you beat them doesn't mean you're a better side than them. I just think Arsenal are a better side than Newcastle. I think most people would agree with that. So, yeah, I think Arsenal at the Emirates will beat Newcastle, and I would imagine that they've not had a great week, so they'll want to bounce back. It's their final home game of the season, and I've not been that impressed with Newcastle recently. Newcastle's performances haven't been very good recently. I thought they were really lucky against Brighton. I thought Ipswich, they were again really lucky. They had, red card shouldn't have been given, penalty shouldn't have been given. They were quite fortunate against Ipswich. Before that, they get battered against Villa at Villa Park. I think Newcastle are last few results good, but performances not matching the results, I would say. So if there's one team that I think could still have a little bit of a fall, it wouldn't surprise me if Newcastle are that team. Again, I haven't got a horse in the race. I haven't got any skin in the game. I like Newcastle just as much as I like Villa, or I actually like them better than Chelsea, to be honest. But yeah, I think Newcastle have got a tough couple of games coming up, so we'll see. Still very, very long way to go. Rangers must be red and white and blue, I guess. Arsenal's form's dipped. They're still a better side. They're still a better side than Newcastle. Creme de la FM, Newcastle shot up the league, you're blind. You know nothing about football, clearly. Results matter, performances don't. It doesn't, at this stage, it doesn't matter about performances, it matters about results, pal. Inject it. Listen, again, you don't have to get so triggered about it just because I think it doesn't mean it's going to happen. You obviously don't think it's going to happen. That's fine. I do. I think that Arsenal will beat Newcastle next week, and I think Newcastle will then have a tough performance at the end of the season against Everton. If they beat Everton on the final day, they probably do get Champions League football. But I think they lose next week. And then they go into the final game level on points with Chelsea and Villa. That's my prediction. I could be wrong. We shall see. Stanley White, thoughts on Bristol City? Disappointing, isn't it, Stanley, what happened the other night against Sheffield United? Wasn't a particularly good end to the season. I thought the referee got that one wrong when Dickey got sent off. It was a penalty. I have no doubt about that at all. It was definitely a penalty. But, not a red card for me. I don't think that should have been a red card. Callum, Isco's on. Yeah, Isco come on for Betis, so I think they're going for it now. Jadon, Gabriel and Mikel out for match 37. Round the season, Everton away form is good under Moyes. Wouldn't surprise me if they got a point at Newcastle. Yeah, this is it. Everton they were brilliant the other night against Fulham. They were absolutely brilliant against Fulham, second half. So, Isco on for Lo Celso, by the way. So yeah, I do. I think that that's going to be an interesting watch next week. Newscale Aaron for Pool. Best player, worst player, most improved, most consistent, best game, biggest clutch moment. Jesus Lord. Best player this season. Okay. Best player this season, I would say Salah. Worst player this season, I would say... I've been disappointed with Jota. I'm not going to name players like Chiesa or, I want players who are in and around the first team. I've been really disappointed with Jota. So I would say Jota, worst player. Most improved, definitely Gravenberch. Most consistent, definitely Van Dijk. Best game, probably Alisson away to PSG. Alisson away to PSG was sensational. Biggest clutch moment. I don't know. Maybe when we beat City at the Etihad, Szoboszlai scoring against City at the Etihad, and we dominated them. We absolutely battered them, and we did the same at Anfield. We've done City home and away this season, and both of those were like really big landmark games. Actually, no. Do you know what? No. it would probably be beating Real Madrid, or actually not. The biggest cheer of the season was Harvey Elliott against PSG, wasn't it? Let's be honest. That was the biggest cheer of the season for Liverpool this year. The big. Oh my God! I can't believe we've actually won that game because we got battered. It was probably Harvey Elliott against PSG. Jadon Thompson, football is life. Round the Susan, clutch moment. Nunes v. Do you know what? Nunes v Brentford. You've got me there. It is Nunes v Brentford. If you go on my, I'm not saying to, you don't, if you don't follow, whatever, hopefully you do follow, hopefully you do subscribe. But if you do go on my YouTube, if you go and search on YouTube and you find my channel, there is a live watch along of Liverpool against Brentford, and the reaction when Darwin Núñez scores, that is probably up there with the most the loudest I've been, unbelievable. That was a proper, because that was the first time I felt like we were going to win the league. Darwin Núñez smashing that in against Brentford away. Yeah, that was a really, really great game, that one. No skill, Aaron, I would say Núñez. I swear he came on and smacked 2 in injury time or something. Yeah, round the Susan, you got me there, mate. Definitely. Darwin Núñez against Brentford was probably the one. Edward wasn't a really card. No, I don't think so. Certainly not that I'm aware of, Edward. Who's that? Oh, okay. Free kick to Osasuna. No skill. I'm going to find this reaction now. Need to see this. Yeah, if you go onto YouTube and you look, honestly, I think it's one of the most. I'm not sure about on YouTube. Actually, it's one of the most watched videos on X. Definitely. When I uploaded it to X, it got loads of views. Worst game, Carabao Cup final. Yeah, again, yeah, probably not far away from that. We were pretty poor against Newcastle. Yeah, I mean, look, we've not lost that many games this season. We've lost against Newcastle, we've lost against Forest, and we've lost against Fulham. So there's not really an awful lot. And Plymouth, obviously Plymouth, but Plymouth we weren't really that bothered by. Plymouth we put a second string out, and I think there was an acceptance there that maybe we're gonna not throw the tournament, but if we were going to win the tournament, it was going to be with a weakened side. We was never ever going to play our best 11 in that tournament. We played a weakened side all the way through the League Cup until we got to the semis. But yeah, I think the Carabao Cup final was probably the most surprising. But we were so tired that you could see it. You could see it. We were awful. And that doesn't mean I don't. Newcastle played well, of course, as well. But I think that was a really, really tired Liverpool after the PSG game. We gave everything for 130 minutes plus penalties. And then we played the Carabao Cup a few days later. We was always knackered. Always going to be knackered. And especially when you then come up against a really well-rested Newcastle team who have got the legs of Joe Linton and Tonali and Bruno, and they're playing their cup final. For Liverpool, we've won that cup a couple of times in the last few years. It's a big thing. Of course, we wanted to win it, but for Newcastle, it was such a huge thing, and they were running. Every single one of their players was running 5-10% harder, and it just caught up with us again. I actually think mentally it was the bigger issue with Liverpool, not just physically. In any other game, Newcastle hit that long diagonal to Dan Burn in every single corner. The first 4 corners Newcastle got, they hit that long ball to Dan Burn, and we kept putting Alexis McAllister on him, the smallest player in our midfield, and Dan Burn kept winning it and knocking it back across goal. And he kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it, and nobody changed anything. And then they did it again and they scored from it. It was like any other Liverpool game that gets changed. Any other game, I am absolutely certain Van Dijk or Canate go and stand on Dan Burn. Osasuna very nearly score there. Round the Susan, what channel is this Betis game? I swear La Liga used to be on Sky, but not watched for years. Yeah, it used to be Revista La Liga. There used to be all sorts of La Liga games, but it's now on La Liga TV. That's where I'm watching it. You can also watch it on Premier Sports. I believe, if you've got that. Caelan Murphy, you know what the funny thing is? Whoever gets 5th in the Prem won't get Champions League because of United and Spurs. Yeah, that's not true, Caelan. If whoever finishes 5th gets, they also get the Champions League. They also get it. Who's the most all-round player in the Prem? Most all-round player in the Prem? Ooh, that's a good question, actually. All-round player in the Prem. Do you know what? I would argue Van Dijk. And I would only say it purely because I think he's got everything. I think he's strong, he's fast. He can score from distance, he can score headers. He's strong, he's fast. His reading of the game is unbelievable. He's a captain, he's a leader. You can't beat him for pace, you can't beat him in the air, you can't beat him for strength. He's probably the best defender in the world. And has been for years. He's just won a Premier League title. He's won everything there is to win. I think he can do everything. I think you could put Van Dijk at centre forward and he'd do really well. He'd be one of the best centre forwards in the league for a little bit because he wins everything. And again, he reads the game really well. Scott Hunter, Tonali still running now. Unknown FX, I personally think Newcastle have the best midfield in the Prem. Certainly one of them. Yeah, certainly one of them. I don't know if I would agree they've got the best midfield in the Prem. Villa ran them ragged the other day. I think Brighton ran them ragged the other day. Christ, Carlos Baleba had Tonali in his pocket the other day. So, and it's just one game. That doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying Baleba's better than Tonali. I'm just saying that it doesn't necessarily mean they're one, but they are one of the best. The three in midfield are really, really difficult to beat. They're very, very good. Round the season, Joe Linton all round for me at the minute. Joe Linton's a very, very good player. But again, we're talking about a similar sort of breed of player, I guess, aren't we? Strong, fast, physical, can score, can win aerially, can dominate in different ways. Very clever, very intelligent. I like Joe Linton. Yeah, one of the better midfielders at Newcastle. No Scalar and Van Disney. Can Arsenal have a trophy for not losing to the big six teams? Key Van Dijk as a centre forward. Oh Lord, listen, mate, you've played most of the season with Marino at centre forward. Levi Pinkney. Rice is the best midfielder in the Prem. He's up there. He's up there. Definitely up there. Probably top. No, he is top 3. Top 3. I'm not sure if I would commit to saying he's 1, but he's definitely top 3. Will United throw the Chelsea game? I don't think they'll throw the Chelsea game. I don't think United have not been trying. I just think they're not very good. They didn't throw the Brentford game. They didn't throw the Wolves game. They didn't throw the West Ham game today. I just think they're not very good. No Scalar, and I think Amorim goes pretty strong for Chelsea after hearing him today. He's gone pretty strong in a lot of the games. The only player he dropped today really was Onana. Around the season, Ob's all fit. What's the benefit? What the benefit to who? United or Chelsea? Rodri, Alexis McAllister, Rice. Reece cannot tell me McAllister and Grave are better than Rice. McAllister on the ball, I think, is better than Rice, yeah. McAllister is on the... I don't think... That's one area of the game I think McAllister's definitely better. Yeah. Off the ball, physically, Rice, stronger, better engine, faster, fine. Give you that, no problem. But I think in terms of game intelligence, passing, tackling, actually, I think McAllister's probably a better tackler as well. Shooting. I know we've just seen Rice score 2 worldies against Real Madrid, but I look at McAllister's goals this season. I would say that McAllister's the better midfielder on the ball. Rice has him physically. That would be my argument. So there's not much in it. Both very, very good midfielders. Certainly not saying there's There's a gulf between the two. And that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because they're talking about the top 2 teams in the Premier League, maybe 2 of the top teams in Europe. So that kind of makes sense. No skill and respect Caicedo, lads. Mate, Caicedo's own manager doesn't play him in midfield. Doesn't even play him in midfield. Newcastle and Andrea, Betis win. But it's still 0-0, but they're making a couple of changes now. They've just taken off Carvalho and brought Fornals on. Ex-West Ham Pablo Fornals. And they've also taken off who's the wide player they've taken off? Jesus has gone off, young lad. And Anthony has come on. Star player Anthony has come on. So, yeah, a couple of changes there for Betis that I think might just make the difference going into the last half hour. Here we are, 56 minutes in. Betis still need to win this one. Hello, Malfay. Hello, I'm from Belgium. I'm a Club Brugge fan. Well done on the win today. Club Brugge beating... Was it Genk you beat today? Really, really good play from Club Brugge. And you won the Belgian Cup against Anderlecht the other day as well. Unlucky not to get past Villa as well, I would argue, in the Champions League. Betis have got a player down here. This is not good. Who's it? Who's gone out? Who's gone down? Oh, there's nothing wrong with him there. Nothing wrong with him there. Whitstable FC won the Vars at Wembley today. Can't believe you didn't watch the FA Vars today. Round the Susan, French Liga Team of the Year. 10 out of the 11 are PSG. Be gutted if you were the only one to miss. I know, yeah. That's the only thing. It's so annoying with Liga, isn't it? So annoying with Liga. It just dominates them. Connor, never betting again. Now I have to walk to work and eat rice and eggs until payday. Never bet more than you can afford to lose. Never bet more than you can afford to lose. That's the rule. Just be really, really careful with them. Too easy to get sucked in. So yeah, make sure you stay safe. When the fun stops, stop, and all that stuff. Did you see that Premier League table with the bottom 3 removed? United on 23 points, got 16 points from 3. I know. Yeah, if United didn't have the Premier League's bottom clubs to play, they'd have been relegated. Which again, that's incredible to say. But look at where they are. They're basically in 17th on goal difference anyway. So to me, that's it's about right, isn't it? Round the Susan, Spurs 20 losses in the league. That's crazy. But I still think they'll win the Europa League. And I still think they'll be in the Champions League next season. What about that? Premier League, how many trophies do you win next season? Be honest. 1, I would say, Edward. Arsenal also probably have Newcastle has the biggest game of the season now. Yeah, and this is it. I do think Arsenal will beat Newcastle next week, and that'll probably just about take the Champions League race down to the wire. Connor Hetfield, are you a FIFA or a PES guy? Well, I was a PES guy probably for about the first 20 years of my life. No, maybe not for 20 years, but certainly for the last 10 years I've only been playing FIFA. I think Pro Evo have absolutely dropped it. They've lost it, Pro Evo. It's not even called Pro Evo anymore. What's it called now? Pro Evo. They've changed the name, haven't they? I know FIFA's EAFC, but Pro Evo's called something else now, isn't it? eFootball, yeah, eFootball, nonsense. I haven't played it. I haven't bought it since maybe 2015, 2016. So probably about 10 years I've not played PES. And then FIFA I've bought every year. But I honestly, I reckon I've played about 20 hours in total since I got it. Not much, really not much. And I've not played it since December. Callum, eFootball is free. 2021 is the best. Well, I mean, look, I'm game for doing a league at some point, maybe over the season, over the summer. We never know. Jake Curtin, doubters gonna doubt. We will show you Scouse lot how to beat Arsenal. See Forest owner today for all the good. For all the good he's done, he isn't half an embarrassment sometimes. Yeah, I was going to say, we had a Forest fan in earlier who said that Nuno Santo had come out and said that it was just all about emotions after the game. The emotions were running high and everything's fine. There's no problem between them. Fornals from distance. Oh, just wide. Betis very nearly 1-0 there. Unlucky. Really, really good effort. And Adrian now cheerleading the crowd, getting them up. Do you remember the journey? Yeah. Alex. What was his name? Alex from the journey. I do remember that one, yeah. Around the season, yeah, but Nuno's going to say that, to be fair, mate. He was definitely pissed. You would be pissed off, wouldn't you? Yeah, I get that. I agree with that around the season. I would have said the same. He's got to do the PR thing, hasn't he, and kind of keep the fans on side. Keep his manager sweet at the end of the day, the guy who pays his wages. So yeah, it's probably the right thing to do. But what's he gonna do? He can have a whinge. And he probably will get an apology, or he might have already got an apology behind closed doors. I just think the owner didn't read the room. I think he went out there to try and kind of make a big stand to the fans and say, we're all frustrated. Look at us. We're all having a go at each other. We're really frustrated. But I don't think he was actually giving the manager a dressing down. I'm sure he's... I'm sure he's happy enough with him. But yeah, it is a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one for Forest fans. They have just kind of fallen apart in the last couple of weeks. Brentford wasn't great. Palace wasn't great. And now today, I think they were quite lucky actually to get a point in the end. Betis pushing and probing here. Ball into the box. Flick on. There you go. There's 1-0. 1-0 Betis. Cucho Hernandez. What a finish that was. Great ball in. Cucho Hernandez. Great flick on. And it's 1-0. I don't know why they're pointing the camera at the linesman. I'm sure that was fine. Didn't look like there was any issues there. I didn't look like there was any issues there. One sec. Just got to plug the old charger in. Forest lost to Everton 1-0 as well. Everton should have won by 3-4. Yeah. Reece, bit close there, Kieran. I know, sorry, Chief. I tried to I tried to plug my charger in, I couldn't get my charger in. What's the flag over your shoulder? Is that Hamburg? Yeah. Hamburg, I don't know what it's called. It's one of them things they exchange before the game. I've got a Madrid one, a Barca one, and a Bayern one just over my right shoulder. Is that the Club World Cup ball? Surely that's not the Club World Cup ball. Got promoted yesterday, Hamburg. Massive following and attendance they get. Yeah, really, really good. Good ground as well. Obviously, good stadium, Hamburg. It's claimed for the penalty there. Betis not going to get that. I'm sure the stat is the second division in Germany gets a higher average than the first. Really? That wouldn't surprise me. That really wouldn't surprise me. Ticket prices in Germany are unbelievable as well. You can go and watch a game if you just fancy it on a Saturday and a Sunday in Germany. Connor Hetfield, what's your favourite classic kit? Mine is 94 United Black Sharp jersey. Oh, I've got a story about that. That is, would you believe, at least the first, I don't know, maybe it's not the first kit I owned, but it is the first kit that I was pictured in. Yeah, I know. I was 3 or 4 years old, and I loved football. I watched football, but like I don't think my dad. I'm sure I have got a Liverpool top, or I had a Liverpool top before then. But my mum just thought, he likes football, and she somehow picked out a United kit. I think it was from a charity shop. I can't remember where she got it from, but she ended up getting this United top, full United kit. It was a FKW full kit banker, and yeah, we was going to Chester Zoo in 1994, and there's a picture of me as a 4-year-old wearing that black Manchester United, black and gold Manchester United away kit, sharp on the front. And I came home from Chester Zoo that day, and my dad was like, "What on earth is he wearing? What are you doing?" To get that off him immediately, no chance. It went in the bin. Never touched it since. Obviously, it's gone. And from then on, it was all Liverpool. I think my dad realised he'd taken his foot off the gas a little bit, and United had crept in inadvertently with my mum. She's not a United fan. I think she just saw it's a football kit. It could have been anyone. Christ, it could have been Everton. It could have been Arsenal. And she landed a United kit on me. Napoli 2, Genoa 2. That's a late one. Vasquez, 84th minute. Scores your game, Key. It is 1-0 Betis, mate. 1-0 Betis. Round the Susan. Chester Zoo, wow, not been there in years. Same with Knowsley Safari Park. Took my little girl to Knowsley Safari Park a few weeks or a few months ago. Really nice. Still nice. Still a good day out. No Skillar, and I knew you loved United. Listen, it was absolutely forced on me. It was absolutely forced on me. I wouldn't have wore it if I could have chose. But I was. That photo still exists. I will say that. If I can find it, I will admonish myself with it, and I'll put it out there into the ether. It'll be like when that picture of Gerrard with his blue Everton kit on. Yeah, there is a United a photo of me in a United kit somewhere. Stanley charity shop's best place for footy tops. I'm sure. I think it was the 93-94 kit, and I must have gone in like 94, 95 or whatever. It was the season after, and that little, it was a youngster's kit. It was a child's kit in a charity shop, and my mum's just, oh yeah, it's a footy kit. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, you'll have that. Got it and put it on me for this day out, and took loads of pictures. God love her. Do you know what's mad? I didn't actually own, considering I didn't actually own an England kit. It was always club kits. I can't remember what the first England kit was that I had. Yeah, don't think I had an England kit really growing up. I'm trying to think of the England kits we had when I was growing up. England kits over the years. England football kit history. Right, here we go. This is what I need. I think I had the 2001-03 kit with the red stripe down the side. I think I did have that. And I haven't really had any others since. Joe Stowe, I knew you were Mark Goldbridge 2.0. Hey, I'll be happily a quid behind Mark Goldbridge in the bank. Happily a quid behind him. But I'm not. You can't call me Mark Goldbridge. I mean, he was born in Nottingham, but apparently he is a fully fledged Manchester United fan. His granddad and everyone went to watch United with him when he was a kid. You tend to support who your dad supports, don't you? So if I had a little boy, there's absolutely no way he's supporting anyone other than Liverpool. That's the one thing that is absolutely getting passed down. Betis coming down the right-hand side here. We've not seen much of Anthony since he's come on. Was Gargo a good player? Yeah, he was alright. He was okay. Maneso, no, cleared away by Betis yet again. Osasuna are just coming back into it a little bit now. Just a tad. Not massively, but they are just coming back into it. Nathan's just cleared it away. They're about to make 3 changes here, Osasuna. They've got to go for it. They really have to go for it. A win. They don't necessarily need a win, but a defeat here is quite damaging for them. Ball in from the right. Chance! There you go. It's 1-1. It's 1-1. And it's him again. It's Budimir. Budimir sticks it away. Top scorer in La Liga for Osasuna. What a finish that is. Really, really good goal. Ball got played over to the far side. It's a cross into the box. A little flick on near the near post. And it goes right to the far post. And just running in at the far post. Ante Budimir, left peg. Half volley. Smashes it in at the near post. Adrian, no chance. 1-1. Round the Susan, night mate, good stream, early start for work tomorrow. So take it easy. I'm going to keep calling you Susan, but night mate, have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one. Yeah, this isn't good. This is not good for Betis. Last 15 minutes of the game. There's Joaquin. Betis president, Joaquin. What a player he was, by the way. He was fantastic. That's the Betis side that I grew up watching. Joaquin. And Denilson before him as well. If you remember Denilson playing for Betis. He was a cracking player, Denilson. Here's Nathan getting forward. Ball over to the top. It's cleared behind. Osasuna coming forward again here. There's a big chance here. That might be a yellow card. That was a nasty one, that from Betis. And it is a yellow. It's going to be a yellow. Well refereed there. He's gone over. The Osasuna player jumped up and he's screaming at him saying, come on, come on. Yellow card, mate. Simple. What more do you want? What more do you want? Has it finished 2-2 at Genoa? Not quite. 92nd minute there. And that does just make it interesting, doesn't it, again, at the top of Serie A. Couple of big games left in Serie A there. We're going to have to keep an eye on them. We've got Genoa tonight. Parma away on the 18th. Parma away on the 18th. And then Cagliari, last game of the season. That might go to the wire, you know, Napoli and Inter. I think it might. Inter have got a chance for a European and League double. European and League double. Oh, has he missed it? Budimir could have put him 2-1 up there. Really, really good save from Adrian. It was a good ball in, and he was onside. That's a great save. That's a fabulous save. Budimir's got to get it. He gets ahead on it. It's a great save. Low down to his left from Adrian. Very, very smart save. Wickham and Charlton finished finished 0-0, by the way. So, yeah, that one's still delicately poised. We'll go into the second leg. Charlton at the Valley. So we'll be watching that one next week. Ibanez going off, Ika coming on, and Budimir's going off as well, is he? Is Budimir going off? Surely not. Surely he's not taking Budimir off. He's actually taking him off. Budimir off and Raul's coming on. No. Raul Garcia coming on for Budimir. I can't believe that. I would have left him on. Been their best player. He's raging. He is not happy with that. Not surprised. Budimir should definitely be staying on the pitch. CTJ cracked. You an Everton fan? I'm not, mate. I'm a Liverpool fan. I did watch Everton yesterday. We did a live watch along of Everton against Fulham. Craven Cottage. Played well at the second half, Everton. Betis switched over to the far side. Here's Anthony. Great ball in. Unlucky. Bit heavy. It's gone straight behind for a goal kick. Alf, first GCSE, prominent advice. First GCSE, prominent advice. Are you asking for advice? I don't know what first GCSE prominent advice means, Alf. BCFC. Have I got any advice for people taking their first GCSEs? Yeah. Relax about the results. The schools will tell you that they mean the world and that your whole life is determined by them. They're not. They're not. It's people who get absolutely dreadful GCSE results and go on to wonderful things. There's people who get degrees and all sorts and are still working in Morrison's and Tesco's. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you know what I mean. You go and get degrees and you go and get all sorts of, academic things. Get yourself into lots of debt. University degrees and all sorts. Then you'd maybe expect to be earning a wage that would sort of justify that. But yeah, I would say the best advice for anyone taking the GCSEs, mate, would be relax about the results. Do your best. That's all anyone can ask for you. Do your best. See how you get on. If you do really well, then great. If you don't do well, try harder. Try something else. Do something different. Not everything's meant to be an academic test in life. A lot of people fail academically and do really well at other things. Maybe you're meant to be creative. Maybe you're meant to be, I don't know, something else in life. So everyone's got a skill. I'm a big believer in that, and you've just got to find out what your skill is. And if it ain't doing GCSE tests, don't worry about it. Great ball into the box, cleared away by Osasuna. Connor Hetfield, who was better between Morientes and Torres for Liverpool? Torres by some distance. Yeah, Morientes was a great player. Not maybe for Liverpool. He did okay for Liverpool. I don't think I would classify him as a flop. He was okay. We signed him for like £6 million. It wasn't much. And he came in and he left basically the year after. I don't think he settled at the club. He never really got too many chances. What a save again from Adrian Osasuna. Osasuna should be 2-1 up here. But Betis are taking real chances. Yeah, so Morientes came in with a big reputation. He'd been great at Real Madrid. He just had a wonderful season on loan at Monaco. And he's one of the best. He is one of the best centre-forwards I've seen in the year. Fernando Morientes. He scored a couple of fabulous goals for Liverpool. Headed goals. But Torres was different class, wasn't he? Torres was probably at the time, at his absolute best, Torres was the best centre-forward in the world for Liverpool. He was the best centre-forward in the world at his peak. Whereas Morientes, I'm not sure he was ever that good. Edward, do I do Salford career mode, or what League 2 team should I do a career mode with? Maybe Chesterfield. Chesterfield will be a good one. Try and take them up. We've got 6 minutes. 6 minutes of added, 6 minutes of normal time left here, plus extra time. Betis 1, Osasuna 1. Big game in La Liga here for both of these two. They've got to get a win. A draw's not really great to any of them. Got to go and push for a win in these last 6 minutes. Great ball over the top. Anthony's bursting the gut to get in the middle. It's a great ball in, unlucky. It's gone behind, corner. Well done. Really well done, that. Good ball in, unlucky. Much better that from Betis. Much better. Well, Napoli have finished 2-2 with Genoa. So what does that mean at the top now? I think, as it stands, yeah, so Napoli on 78 points, Inter on 77. There is... Who's Inter's last 2 games? Inter's last 2 games, they've got Lazio and Como. Como, I think Inter have done. There's no way they're not going to catch Napoli. They're not going to catch him. Napoli have got Parma away. That's a tough one. But then they've got, I think it's Cagliari. Is it Cagliari at home? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're going to win that, Inter, now. That was a big result today for them, though. Big result. Genoa picking up a point at the Diego Maradona Stadium. And obviously Inter getting a big win away at Torino. So maybe the league title is back on in Serie A. One of these two's got to win it. Corner ball for Betis. Betis really pushing forward here. Trying to nick it at the end. Trying to get it at the death. Isco's gone over to take it. It'd be a frustrating end to the season, this, for Betis, if indeed it does finish 1-1, because chances are they're not getting anything other than Europa League then. Mark Bartra pleading with the referee for a push there. I don't think that was a push. You're not getting that. You're not getting that. Come on. Play the game, lads. Ball in. Oh, unlucky. Osasuna clear it away. Last 2 minutes before extra time. Connor Hetfield, how long do you wait before you place a bet in a new season? Probably the first month. If I'm dead honest. Again, it depends. It depends, mate. If you've got a bit of money to play with, then try a tenner, try a fiver, whatever. But just don't bet more than you can lose. Don't bet more than you can be. If you're gonna lose it, almost put it on as fun. Don't put it on to try and win. I know that seems counterintuitive, but put it on as a bit of a see what happens. Don't try and, because you'll never second guess them. There's always something. I used to put 20 folds on. 20 folds, £2.50. Like, if you lose £2.50, then so what? It's £2.50. It's not the end of the world. So I didn't mind doing that. But £2.50 to return whatever it was, 8-9 grand in some cases. It's worth it, and I've done it a few times. I've dropped 8-9 grand on £2.50 hackers, and then you look silly because you look at it and think, Christ, I wish I'd have put a tenner on that now. It might have changed my life instead of only won maybe 6 or 7 grand or whatever it was. Yeah, but they're the ones that you tend to get the most joy from, I think. If you start whacking 10s and 20s and stuff like it, it's dangerous game, and you'll never ever, there's always a banker that lets you down. It's always the ones that you can't plan for. They're the ones that you struggle with. So I would always say, mate, yeah, try to be safe with it, because it can catch you. It's never been a problem for me, but I can see there's plenty of blokes I've worked with and stuff who have got caught with betting and gambling. It's dangerous game. Callum, 6 minutes extra time. Yeah. Edward, I've never even put a bet on. Like I say, everyone's got different vices, haven't they? Some people don't mind a bet, some people don't mind a drink, some people don't mind other things, and whatever works for you, I guess. You've got to get through the day your own way. Right, Osasuna driving forward here. Callum, Napoli drop points in Naples. I know, mate, yeah. Yeah, it's. I still can't see Inter doing it. They've got two big games left. They've got Como on the last day of the season. They've got Lazio at San Siro. I think Lazio will probably get something there. And even if they don't, I can't see Napoli dropping points. They've got Parma away next week, and then they finish the season against Cagliari at the Diego Maradona. So, yeah, I just can't see it. Who's in the League 2 playoffs? AFC Wimbledon and Notts County. And AFC Wimbledon are 1-0 up from the first leg. So I fancy Wimbledon will go through there. In the other one, it's Walsall and Chesterfield, I think, isn't it? Walsall and Chesterfield, yeah. And Walsall won that 2-0, which you would have expected. So I think it's probably going to be Walsall against AFC Wimbledon final to go up to League One. Corner to Betis here, 92nd minute on the clock. Corner, poor, cleared away. Oh, great shot from distance there, straight down the keeper's throat. It's that man again, Anthony. Anthony's done really, really well there. That's one of them, that way you catch that wrong and it's going into Rowe's head, but he does smash it right down the keeper's throat. Very, very good play. Are we going to see a winner here? There's not long left. There really isn't long left. Maybe 2.5 minutes. Stood up at the far post. Chesterfield it is, bro. Cooper Steele. You. Why you? What are you saying, Coops? Oh, there's a claim for handball there. I don't think you're going to get it. Into the last couple of minutes here. That's the most obvious handball I've seen in my life. Oh, yeah, that did look like an handball, didn't it? It did from the back. I thought that might have been a handball. I think that might be us done here, to be honest. I don't think we're going to get any more. Anthony's just been booked for dissent. Connor Hetfield, can you believe there are some Arsenal fans who want Arteta out? Yeah, I can, yeah. I can. He's 6 years in. He's 6 years in, they've won nothing. And he has got the big transfer decision wrong. He says he wants a striker, he wants a centre forward, but he went and got Havertz. That's evidently not worked. He now wants to replace him. He got Gabby Jesus, paid big money for him. That evidently hasn't worked. He wants to replace him. So yeah, for me, I think he's absolutely right to be, sacked, or maybe not sacked, but his job is up for question, definitely. And it's full time. Betis 1, Osasuna 1. That is not a good result for either of these two, to be honest. That is not a good result for either of these two. We've done and dusted here. Betis won, Osasuna won, and that might just mean come the end of the season, neither of these two are playing Europe. Well, maybe, I think Betis will. Betis are still in a very good position for Europa League football. They'll almost certainly have Europa, but I think they're going to struggle for Champions League football. They are now 3 points behind Villarreal going into the last 3 games. Still an outside chance. For Osasuna, they remain on 45 points. Still 2 points behind Vallecano, 4 points behind Celta Vigo in 7th. So a Conference League place may be still on the cards, but they're going to have to put a big performance in against Atletico Madrid in the next couple of games for both of these two. But yeah, there you go. Right, so we are back tomorrow night, by the way. If you are planning on sticking with us, and listen, hopefully you've subscribed and liked and all that good stuff by now. If you're planning on sticking with us, we are live tomorrow night at 4:45, nearly 5 o'clock. We'll be live for Venezia against Fiorentina, back to Serie A, to see if Fiorentina can recover from getting knocked out by Betis in the Conference League, and to see if they can maybe, if Moise Keane and co can maybe get European football for them, for the Viola next season. So yeah, we're gonna watch Venezia against Fiorentina tomorrow, 5 p.m. kickoff, and after that it's the Championship playoff semi-final, second leg. Sheffield United 3, Bristol City 0 from the first leg. I think that one's pretty much done and dusted. But listen, Bristol City are going to go there and give it a bloody good go. I am sure of that. And yeah, that's the plan for tomorrow night. We'll be live from 5. Live till probably through to 10 o'clock, so a good 4 to 5 hours of streaming. And if you fancy a natter, if you fancy a chit chat tomorrow night, we will be live from 5 till 10, and I will see you for those 2 games then. Take it easy. Have a nice night, whatever you're doing with your Sunday night. Sleep tight.